The schematics to both of these are uploaded in the description. However, let's assume that you've built everything correctly. However, I would check with the schematic verifier before actually proceeding from here. So let's say now you actually want to start this one up. Let's start with the 18K version. So with this version, all you need to do is go down here. And one suggestion, because of the way that I designed this, is when building this, only bring 2 skulls with you and then bring the third once you're done, because those 2 skulls go here, and now the third skull you just put in this dispenser. And make sure that skull is in the dispenser before pressing the button. Also, there's a sign. So once you've done that, you can press this button and the wither will start to be created. And while that's happening, I'll show you how to do it for the 36K version. So first off, you do the exact same thing. So let me quickly do that. However, there's one more thing you need to do with this version. There is another dispenser up here to get rid of another piece of lava because of the way that the wither is aligned and stuff, and because fire. So you want to put a bucket in this dispenser. And then I can start this one up in the exact same way. So now, because withers count towards the mob cap, you might want to name tag the wither, especially if you're putting it near a mob farm or something. So, call it Fluffy. So, to name tag this, I actually go to the same spot that I go to for placing the skull in the dispenser. And it works the exact same way for the other version. Just do this. The wither's going to be in here. You can sort of see him. You can name tag him right there. So now if you want to hook up farm to this, all you have to do is hook something up to this block stream. So if I want to load up or just put in a cobblestone farm, where is it? Comment below if you want me to upload this schematic to the description, although I do need to make it more seeds proof. So let's say I want to link up this farm, just link it up with blockstream. So just do this the standard. Actually, I need to get this some space for another reason, but I'll just do it this way. I'm leaving space for a specific reason, but and I don't know how much space I need to leave, so I'm just kind of guessing. But you just kind of create standard block streams like this. Okay, so now that I've linked up a farm to this, you also should probably link up the collection system, because I would assume you want to collect the items. So all of the items are outputted here. So all you have to do is link up a water stream here. I'm just going to put it to a soulfire because this is just for demonstration purposes, but obviously you would link this to some sort of actual collection system, not just burn all the items, assuming you actually want to collect the items. But for now, we can just I'll just do this. But now now this is fully hooked up, I can literally just turn on this farm. I can put this on partial basalt mode, because I can. But, yeah. That's literally it. Okay, so now let's say for some reason I would like to remove this. So all you have to do is align the wither killing cannon that I have designed. Let me just load in the schematic. So always this cannon is in the same orientation schematic wise as both of these. So like if you rotate it once to the right, you have to rotate the cannon once to the right. However, you might be able to get away with doing a 180-degree rotation with the cannon because of the way it works, but then that just makes the cannon bump out a bit, and yeah. But you just have to align the cannon properly, and to do that, you want to align the trapdoors to the trapdoors. So just like this. So as you can see, these two trapdoors need to be lined up with these two trapdoors. And if the cannon is ever used, there cannot be any blocks obstructing this pathway. Although in theory, if you need to, or if there's something below here or anything, you can actually move this cannon up. It will not, you can move this cannon up, I think as high as you want. You could probably move it. I could move it up here if I wanted to. For demonstration purposes and for compactness, I will move it down here, but it will 100% work if you have it higher up. So that is absolutely okay if for some reason you do not have the space to have it down here. So let me just paste this in. Okay, so now let me show you how to actually use this. So first things first, you want to expose the wither, or in this case Fluffy. And now well, if you're in survival, either you can elytra up here or you could build a ladder up here. But now I'm going to switch to survival in order to show you exactly what you do. So I have 84 TNT on me, which is the amount of TNT this thing needs. So what you do is for each of these four things, well, columns, you load them up with TNT. And as a warning, do not place TNT here. Absolutely not. Not here. Not this first layer. Everything above here. But absolutely not down here, otherwise it will blow up. So do not do that. So just place it in. So he's doing this in creative. And then just do that for the other three. Exactly the same. And if you want to fire this cannon again, you can do so in theory, so long as you replenish the TNT. However, I do not foresee it being fired more than once, since it would only be fired if you would like to remove this contraption. Although maybe if you want to rebuild it because something broke in a later version, I don't know. But, so now that you've loaded all the TNT, you just come up here. Big thing, absolutely do not use anything that's not a power 5 bow. Otherwise it will not do enough damage to the wither. And if you do a lot of damage to the wither without killing it, it's going to shoot blue skulls everywhere and potentially escape the cage. So you absolutely have to have a power 5 bow for this. Otherwise it will not work. So I just fire an arrow in here, press the button, and voila. He's dead. It's that easy. One last thing I want to mention before I move on to hooking up the 36k per hour version is that you want, with both versions, you want to chunk align it such that the wither and the iron golem are in the same chunk. And just to be safe, I would make sure that the entire wither cage is in a single chunk. So if I turn on chunk borders, as you can see, this entire thing is in one chunk. But what really matters is that the wither, which I just killed, and the iron golem, that both of these entities are in the same chunk. Otherwise, you could have issues with the wither not properly targeting the iron golem and shooting blue skulls everywhere because the iron golem's in an unloaded chunk, or vice versa, or something like that. So just make sure that, and that's the general thing with a lot of wither cages, just make sure that those two entities are in the same chunk, and you shouldn't run into that problem. Okay, so now with the 36k per hour version, to hook up farms to that, you just need to hook something up into either this block stream or this block stream. However, please be warned that this synchronizing component is exceedingly sensitive to any block stream where there's like a 3 game tick interval rather than a 4 game tick interval, so just be very careful. Although it shouldn't be an issue for most cases, but sometimes if you have like a player placing blocks or something, it can cause a problem. Because if you, for example, if you have easiest example I can do it is, actually if I just go over here, it's probably the easiest way to do this, and I break these. What I can do is if I like fast click, I can make a 3 game tick block stream rather than a 4 game tick block stream, as I just demonstrated, which can completely break this thing, so just be very careful. But for the most part, you should be fine. So let's say, I don't know, I want to link up my cherry tree farm to this. Let me load up my, actually I'm going to load up a different version of, oh no, I'll load up this one. Let me find it. Upload screen. My cherry tree farm. So, if I want to align this properly, I'm going to go here. Just be mindful of the push limit. So, remember I'm going to assume that you know the push limit is 12 blocks. So, just be mindful of that. Fortunately, I mean 4 redstone dust for these downwards facing smart pistons, but oh well. Let's go with this. I can just do this because I'm creative and have infinite target blocks. But just make a smart piston here, like this, and that literally is it. That is literally, this will go to here, and that will be completely hooked up. Let me just make sure, because yeah, that's fine. And then let's say I want to hook up my cobblestone farm to the other one. I can absolutely do that, and it will work perfectly fine. So if I go into farms, block stream output, and then I can literally, I think I might be able to get away. Should I do this? Push limit. It's 4, 6. Yeah, no, should be fine. So yeah, I can literally, with this cobblestone farm, theoretically, I could just put it here. Because of the wither killing cannon, you might not want to do that, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just putting it here. So now, just to make sure, you know what, the easy way to do this is, obviously this is not a survival thing, but because I'm just doing creative mode, I can just do that. Oh. if I could do carpet commands properly. But those, because though you don't want these hoppers backing up, if you're actually going to hook this thing up, actually make sure this goes to something. Otherwise, it could cause problems, so don't allow these hoppers to back up. And let me just do a double. No, we'll do it two double. We'll do a few double chests of oatmeal. So obviously, I would have a more intricate bone meal system if I were to actually hook this up in survival. But again, creative mode for testing purposes, well, demonstration purposes. So it's good enough. Let me just. Yeah, this should be enough. Yeah, it should be enough. So I can, before I do that, let me quickly obviously you would actually hook this up to the collection system, as I've said before, but again, I'm just doing this the lazy way. But at that point, or at this point, you're good. You can run these farms. So set this to partial basalt mode because it looks better. And then I can just, I'm on the wrong side of this, but I can just either do this myself or, because I want to fly around, / player Steve spawn C holding chair sample. Oh, he already is. Perfecto. / player Steve use. And then all I have to do is turn this on. And that is literally my cherry tree farm and a cobblestone farm together, hooked up to, oh, you didn't see that. That is a cherry tree farm and a cobblestone farm hooked up to 136k per hour wither-based block breaker. And obviously you could do the same thing, and in fact I actually do have the clearance for the cannon. I could just put the cannon up here if I wanted to, and that would absolutely work, as I've said before. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any issues. Feel free to leave a comment. There's a link to a Discord server I made in the description, or you could probably just ask someone on the TMC Discord or something. But see you next time.